Hello, whistleblowers everywhere. Today I am doing a fairly quick tutorial on finger vibrato. Now, I've had quite a few people asking me how it's done, where it's done, why it's done. So I'm going to try and answer these questions in this tutorial. And I'm going to use the air called Cape Clear, which is a beautiful slow air. It's a good one because it combines a number of different techniques such as slides and finger vibrato. And the thing with slow airs, it's all about phrasing. It's all about phrasing and almost trying to emulate the human voice. And I always say to my students when they're learning a slow air, always find the song behind it. And quite a lot of the time there are songs behind the slow airs. And listen to how the singer is phrasing. Listen to how they are using their voice, to create the atmosphere. Slow airs are often played rubato, well, practically always played in what's called rubato, which means there's no strict timing behind them. And it's up to the player's individual emotion and technique and what they want to express. The only thing I'd say really be careful with is not to rush the slow airs, and in terms of phrasing and expression, always try and, as I said, listen to the song behind it. Now, the thing with finger vibrato, what we're trying to do is we're trying to emulate the vibrato of a human voice, and obviously we can use what's called breath vibrato, but I think the tradition really doesn't use too much of the breath vibrato. You know, the thing like that the flute players would use, which you hear classical flute players, they use this kind of which is fine, but it doesn't really give you the kind of traditional Irish sort of expression that the finger vibrato does. So one little thing which you can start by doing is just practicing before we go into a tune. Just practicing getting your vibrato even. Now, whether you prefer a wider vibrato or a narrower vibrato, that's kind of your own personal preference. But what you're doing with your fingers, with the finger vibrato, we're flattening the note, bringing it back up to pitch. So if I do a G, I'm going to play a long G, and I'm going to flatten it, bring it back up to touch. We want to try and keep this as rhythmic as possible. So, and I would just practice that. Practice getting it wah, 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 nice and rhythmically, yeah? Same with F. E. Now, bottom D, we can't use finger vibrato, but we can use breath vibrato. Same with the upper register. So there I'm pulsing with my abdomen, so I'm pushing breath, holding it back. So E in the upper octave, same thing as the lower octave. So flattening the note, bringing it back up to pitch, but keep the rhythm even. F. G. A. Now with A, I tend to use these, the whole of this bottom hand. Low. And B. Now you can use this finger to vibrato on the B. Gives it a wider sound. The upper octave, you'll get the different note, you'll get the B flat, so you have to use, because if you do that, you get a B flat, which is not what we want. We don't want to shade the note so much that it becomes too flat. Then it just sounds, it doesn't sound good. So with the high B, I use the whole of this bottom hand here. A, G, F, E. So with your vibrato, always start off by playing it evenly. Yeah, pulse it evenly. Ha wah 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 wah, that kind of thing. And make sure you don't flatten the note too much. It just sounds a bit ridiculous when you flatten the note too much. So subtle touches with vibrato. You're flattening the note enough so that the ear can hear there's a difference. It's like a gentle kind of subtle vibrato. I mean, some people preferred a wider vibrato. For me, I don't particularly like that wider vibrato. It reminds me too much of those big classical opera singers, and it's not something that I can get my head into. So yeah, practice going up and down the scale by using that sort of pulsed vibrato with your fingers. Keep it regular, yeah, and keep it in keeping with the piece. Yeah, you don't want to put vibrato on every note. Anyway, so that's the introduction to sort of a little exercise you can do. Just run up and down the scale using vibrato. Let's have a look at Cape Clear now, the first part. So I'm not going to put up any music for this. I think at best the music for any slow air is a sort of really just a rough guide to where you find the notes. But I'm a great believer in learning airs simply by using your ears and learning the melody. There's no substitute for that, and the music really is kind of, if you were to play it as it was written out, it would sound absolutely awful. So yeah, forget the time signatures, forget rhythm so much. This is more about expression and feel and phrasing. Phrasing is everything. So if we have a look at the first stanza, if you like, of Cape Clear, we've got this lovely kind of opening. So what I'm doing is playing the B, E, F sharp, and then I'm sliding up to the G and making that the pinnacle of that particular phrase. And if you hear the vibrato on the G there, it's regular, and that's what we want. I'm going to take a breath. So again, with the vibrato, I'm sliding up from the A to the B, and then I'm adding the vibrato after the slide. So let's look at those two phrases. So I'm holding on the G at the top and the A there. Once again. So that's the first two phrases. Next phrase. And then I'm bringing that phrase down to that bottom E. So we've got a rise up to the top and a fall. It's a gradual kind of up and down, sort of undulating movement. So the whole of that first phrase. Don't be afraid to leave space between the phrases as well. Yeah, don't be afraid of the silence in slow airs. It's good to have breaks and silence. Obviously, it's got to be within keeping. You don't want like a 5-second break, but just a nice pause within each phrase. And again, it gives it that kind of nice unhurried feel, which is what we want to try and get with the slow air. So that's the first part. Okay, so the next phrase, okay, we start off with a similar phrase. So if you like, that's our question repeating. If you think of it in terms of question and answer. So the first bit was the question, the second phrase was the answer. So then we've got the same question again. Okay, so the last phrase, or the second answer, we go all the way up to that high B. I'm sliding up from the A. So let's try that second question and answer phrase again. So. So we repeat, that's the A part. And there's lots of scope for like slight variations in it. So let me play the whole of that A part. I'll play it through twice. Okay. Check out what I'm doing with my vibrato and check out what I'm doing with these slides as well. So we play that again through twice, A, B, B, yeah? So second time I'm going to add some slightly different phrasing to it. So the second time I went up to that high B, I did what's called a slide down. Yeah, so he's sliding up. So going up, sliding up, and then sliding back down again. And that sounds lovely. That's quite effective on certain notes. And on that high note, it's giving that sort of fall down. So. And again, vibrato on that E with this finger, flattening, shading it, but keeping it even. So that's part A of Cape Clear. Let's have a look at part B now and see what vibrato and what sort of slides we can use. So the B part, like the A part, we have the question and then we have the answer. So it's a phrase and then we repeat the answer phrase. So we're going all the way up to the high B. So sliding up. So we've got this lovely sort of descending pattern going on there. So and again, you can, on that top part, you can have a little slide down. So that's the question, and then the answering phrase. So the whole of the B part. So when I play the B part again, I'm going to add a little bit of variation. Yeah. So in that variation, I included a nice little E flat. Which is giving us sort of like the harmonic minor. Yeah, we've got the flattened note there. So it's the melodic minor going up, isn't it? Yeah. So we've got the melodic minor going up, and that gives it a nice little bit of change in the tonality. So I like to add that sometimes, that little E flat note. and then I'm just doing some little octave jumps. So there's some little things, variations you can think about when you're doing this tune. Okay, I'm going to play Cape Clear now all the way through with some variations and with the slides and the vibrato. So before I get started on playing Cape Clear for you, I just want to say I'm using today for the tutorial this beautiful pistachio wood Heidi whistle made by Simon Styles from Western Whistles. I absolutely adore Simon's whistles. You'll probably see me playing them quite a bit, and I'm working on getting a set of pistachio whistles all the way up from high E all the way down to low A and everything in between, because yeah, I love this wood. I love how they sound. So Simon's a great whistle maker and a really good chap to deal with. Highly recommend his whistles. So there we go, Western Whistles, pistachio wood. Okay, so I'm going to play Cape Clear now and add all the vibrato and the slides that we've talked about. Yeah, here we go. So that was my take on Cape Clear. Hope you found this tutorial and tune breakdown useful. Have a go at putting your own vibrato in and just practice it. It's something that will come in time. It's just a matter of getting the right feel and the right kind of shading on your whistle. I'd avoid that very wide vibrato. To me it just sounds a bit a bit corny, a bit kind of I don't know the word for it really. It's corny, I suppose. It's just a bit sort of over the top. Yeah. I don't particularly like it, but I mean, hey, if you like it, then use what you want. But as I said, it just reminds me of those big operatic singers with the really wide sort of vibrato, and I can't listen to that kind of stuff really without wanting to stick a fork in my eyes. Anyway, have a go. Try it out, and if you've got any questions or comments at all, please do feel free to leave me some comments or ask some questions. Always happy to help out if I can. If you found this tutorial video useful, then please like it, and please subscribe. I'm getting close to, well, I've certainly got over 900 subscribers now, and it'd be great if in the next couple of weeks I could get 1,000. That's my short-term goal for the next couple of weeks, is to hopefully get up to 1,000 subscribers, and then I can really sort of pay a bit more attention to putting some more content out. As I said on the previous video, I've been rather taken up with some family stuff, which wasn't particularly pleasant, but very much needed sorting out. But that's pretty much on the up now. So I will be making hopefully some more regular tune breakdowns, tutorials, and if you've got any suggestions for future tutorials, tune breakdowns, or if you would like to know a little bit more about a certain technique or whatever, you know, I'm always around and happy to answer those questions in future tutorials. Okay folks, well, thanks for sticking with me, and I shall see you shortly. Bye bye for now.